Hello students, welcome to Global Online Classes. So students, I'm very excited to announce that from today onwards, I'm starting a mock test series for your preparation of UGC NET Paper 1. And in this series, I'll be uploading top 50 plus MCQs from your syllabus, and this video will be uploaded on 12:30 p.m. on Global Online channel. And to get the maximum benefit out of this series, all you have to do is whenever a question appears on your screen, pause the video, try to guess the answer. Anyways, I'll be answering the question there itself. So after the video is complete, this lecture is complete, so you will end up answering the 50 questions. So just write down your score. Assume that every question carries 2 marks, and if your score is above 80 plus, that means your preparation for paper 1 is complete and you don't need to do any further preparation. And if your score is below 50, then you need to give more emphasis on your paper 1 to get the good score. And to get the maximum 80 plus mark, Global Online has launched a quick revision PDF wherein we provide you 500 plus updated questions. So in a way that every unit you will get the 500 plus questions. You do these questions, these are updated questions, and we guarantee you that you can easily achieve target of 80 plus in your paper 1. And with that, we'll also give you short notes, updated MCQs, and most repeated PYQs. Fee is just 699. And who should buy this course? So we should buy this PDF. Those who have not who just want to focus on paper 2 and they don't have enough time for paper 1. So this is the best deal for you. If you want to buy this, just contact these two WhatsApp numbers and then you're ready to go. A high amount of biochemical oxygen demand in water body represents what? So students, what is biochemical oxygen demand? So it is the amount of oxygen that is required by a microorganism to decompose the organic matter that is present in the water body. So if the amount of oxygen is higher, that is biochemical oxygen demand is higher, that means the organic material is higher, and when organic material in water body is higher, that means that water is polluted. So if higher the BOD, the water is more polluted, that means there is more amount of organic matter presents, and then the aquatic life is limited in the high biochemical oxygen demand, because there will be more organic material and water body is polluted. So there is presence of good oxygen demand. This is not true, because oxygen is already used for decomposing the organic material. I hope you have understood it. Which of the following disease is not caused by the UV radiation? So students, bronchitis is a disease where your airways of the lungs get inflated, and this bronchitis is caused by viruses or the cigarette smoking. And the melanoma is a type of cancer and a type of a skin cancer, and it is caused by a UV light. Then ocular damage is a damage to eyelid, and it is caused by the UV light. Then erythema is a reddishness of the skin, reddish skin after the exposure to UV light. So only disease, that is bronchitis, is not caused by the uh, ultraviolet radiation. You can read, if you want to read further, you can read here. I have told you all those options. So they have given us a match the following. In the first column they have given the pollutants, and the second column they have given the their effects. So first option will see disease causing agents. So we all know that bacteria, protozoa and worms will cause the uh, diseases, right? And so A for 3. And then we have oxygen depleting substances. So we call it oxygen depleting substances. That means this is a phenomena of BOD, biological oxygen demand. If you have more organic matter, so that it will be decomposed by the microorganism, and they will use oxygen in terms decreasing the oxygen. Inorganic plant nutrients, we know nitrate, phosphate. So whenever you see nitrate, phosphate, so these are the inorganic nutrient. And water soluble inorganic chemicals. So always remember, acids are water soluble. Salts, like our common salt which we use in kitchen, if you add it in the water, so it is soluble in water. And the compounds of toxic metals, so these are the soluble things. So our correct answer will be C. I hope you all have understood this. If there is an issue, you can comment in the comment section. So we are given two statements. Nitrification result in the increase in an effluent ammonia toxicity. So students, what happens in the nitrification process? Ammonia is converted to nitrite and nitrate, right? So in this process the ammonia is used, so the overall ammonia decreases. So remember, this is wrong statement. In nitrification you have to remember ammonia is used, so it decreases, right? So first statement is wrong. In denitrification process, the nitrite were reduced to nitrogen gas by using a bacteria. So this is correct statement. Remember, nitrite were converted to nitrogen gas. So our correct answer will be statement 1 is correct, but statement 1 is incorrect, right? And then statement 2 is correct. So correct answer will be D. I hope you have understood it. So they have given us the ozone depleting substances and their names. So remember, CF3Br is called halon, and D42 is uh, the only option that we have. So our correct answer will be B. But for remembering, you need to remember that how do you remember this formula? See, CFC is chlorofluorocarbon. So how do you just remove these numbers, right? So what you have? CFC, right? Then you remove this, sorry, all the numbers. You can CFHC, you got it, CFSC. So you only have this one, then you remove this 3, then remove this 7, and you will see CHF, right? Just remove the numbers and you will be able to come to answer. I hope I have made it this simple. Just remove the numbers and you will get the name, right? So it is that simple. So they have given us the act and the year in which they first came, right? So we know the very famous act, Environmental Protection Act, has come in the year 1986. So we have two options here, C for one and then C for one here. Then I also know very well that Water Prevention Act came in the year 1974. So wherever you see A is equal to 2, so this is our correct answer. And then we can just draw our answer that Air Prevention and Control Act came in 1981 and the Factories Amendment Act came in the year 1987. So this way, if you know one or two options, this becomes really easy to guess the correct answer. Which of the following isotope of uranium is a fissile material? So and can be used in the nuclear reaction. So fissile material is the material which can undergo nuclear fission reaction, right? And uranium 235 isotope is the one which is used for the nuclear reaction. So you remember uranium 235 and then plutonium 239. So you have to remember these two. So these are used in the nuclear reactions, right? The rain is termed as acid rain when its pH value is. So students, generally the value of normal rain is 5.6. The pH value of normal rain is 5.6, and when it is below this, right? So when it is below this, it is called acid rain, right? So less than 5.6 is called acid rain, and the acids of sulfur and nitrogen, right? Whenever you see whenever the acid rain happens, it will have the H2SO4 and HNO3 into it, right? So remember, the value of the if the value of pH is less than 5.6 of the rain, then it is called acid. Which of the following is the main goal of the Convention of the Biological Diversity? So this Convention of Biological Diversity is a legal instrument and it is signed by 196 country, and it has following three goals: this conservation of the biodiversity, then sustainable use of component of the biodiversity, and the sharing and the equal benefits for the all parties, right? Fair and equal benefits. So the correct answer would be 2, 4, 5. So remember these three important points about the CBD, right? Which of the following article in the Indian Constitution talks about the duty to protect the environment? So students, we all know that Environment Protection Act 1986 has, it is for the environment protection, and of that Article 51AG. So remember, Article 51J says that it shall be duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for the living creature. So remember the correct article for which states that it is the duty of everyone is 51 AG. Arrange the following naturally occurring uranium isotopes in the sequence as their proportion of occurrence. So they have asked which uranium isotope is occurs highest and which is the lowest, right? So we all know that uranium 234 to 235 is used in the nuclear fission, that is nuclear reaction or nuclear plant, right? So the naturally uranium 238 is the highest, number 1, then uranium 235 is number 2 and uranium 234 is number 3, and their proportion is here. You can see uranium 238 appears 99.27, then uranium 235 is 0.71 and uranium 234 is very negligible 0.005. So you have to remember this proportion, that uranium 238 1, then uranium 235 is number 2nd and that 234 is number 3, right? So the convention on biodiversity was signed during. So students, convention on biodiversity was signed during the Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro in 1992, and it was ratified in 1993, right? The only country which has not ratified the this convention on biodiversity is United States. And Montreal Protocol is about ozone depleting substances. So you have to remember the year and for what that protocol was. So in 1987 it was for ozone depleting substance. Kyoto Protocol was for greenhouse gases, right? So greenhouse effect or greenhouse gases, to regulate the greenhouse gases. And Human Environment Conference in Stockholm was for a preparation of United Nations environmental program. So the main function was to make United Nations environment program. So you have to remember these 4 things, right? Moving on to the next question. Solar water still is a device. So students, solar water still is a device where a saline or salty water is collected in a tank, and when solar radiation, it is subjected to solar radiation, it vaporizes and condenses to a pure drinking distilled water. So it is a device which converts the saline water to potable, that is drinkable water, right? Eutrophication in a water body leads to which of the following? So students, eutrophication means a the collection or the nutritions are collected into the water body. So what happens if the nutrition are collected? The microorganisms like algae, like fungi grows, right? So bloom of algae is because of the eutrophication, right? Because there are more nutrient, so you have the bloom of the various microorganisms like algae. Then there is no increase in the level of the oxygen. We have seen that when there are more microorganisms, they use more oxygen, so the water body will have the less oxygen, right? And increase in the turbidity on the order of the water body is true because there will be more microorganism and it will give more uh, growth to the microorganism, and the water body color as well as the order will change. Difficulty in sustaining the aquatic life, this is right because there will be less amount of oxygen, and then the aquatic life will be in danger. The deficiency of nutrient, we have just seen the eutrophication means the increase in the nutrients, means it will be bulk of the nutrients will be present, so this is wrong. So our correct answer will be A, C and D. I hope you have answered it correctly. Who is the executive head of National Disaster Management Authority? So students, National Disaster Management Authority is headed by the Prime Minister of India, and State Disaster Management Authority is headed by the Chief Minister of that particular state. So you have to remember this. National Disaster Management Authority is headed by the Prime Minister of India. Primary treatment of wastewater involves removal of. So what happens in the primary treatment? the process is called sedimentation, and in this sedimentation the solids are collected at the bottom of the tank, right? And the water is allowed to stand still for some time, and then the solids will be collected here. And the second process in the primary treatment is skimming, means anything, the floating impurities are removed and the solid impurities are removed. So the primary treatment involves the sedimentation and skimming. So you have to remember to remove the solid, right? Okay. Noise level, dB. So you have to remember dB means decibel, right? So decibel are reference to human hearing threshold at frequency of. So students, remember the human hearing frequency is based at 2 kilohertz to 5 kilohertz, and the human it is the decibels are reference to 1 kilohertz because it is just below the 2 kilohertz. So this is the base frequency, and the noise levels are reference to 1 kilohertz for human hearing thresholds, right? International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement entered into the force in the year. So students, this is the International Solar Alliance is an alliance of countries which lie on the Arctic and the Capricorn, right? So and the initiative was taken by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the initiative started in the year 2015, but the agreement came into the force in the year 2017. So the Solar Alliance entered into the force in the year 2017. And by 2020, one of the targets of SDG was to reduce the global deaths and injuries to road from the road traffic accident by. So students, by 2020 the target of SDG was to reduce the deaths and injuries occurring from the road traffic accident by 50%. So you have to remember, by 2020 that was the target. So the correct answer is 50%. According to World Health Organization standard for drinking water quality, the concentration of arsenic should not exceed. So students, the arsenic is a poisonous metal, and its concentration should not exceed 10 microgram per liter. Remember, 10 microgram per liter is the standard that WHO has prescribed. The vision statement of International Solar Alliance, as I told, the International Solar Alliance has come into the force in the year 2017, and its motto is, or its vision statement is, let us work, let us together make the sun brighter. Alright. So the correct answer is, vision statement is, let us together make the sun bright. They have asked us to match list 1 with the list 2. In the list 1 they have given us the protocol. So we know Kyoto protocol is about the greenhouse gas emission regulations, so that is for the clean development mechanism. Montreal protocol is about the ozone depleting regulation of ozone depleting substance, that is chlorofluorocarbon, so you can see chlorinated compounds. Paris agreement is about the nationally determined contribution, and International Solar Alliance, India is a major uh, a key player in this, and it is about the using solar energy for in a clean and affordable energy, right? So the correct answer will be A, right? Moving on to the next question. The Miyawaki method is well known for. So students, in Miyawaki method, in 1 square meter you plant 4 different plant species, and it is to develop and these 4 species uh, survive on their own, and it is a method wherein a urban forest, mini urban forest is created. So remember, Miyawaki method is for creation of the mini urban forest, right? Climate action tracker. So remember, whenever you see climate action tracker, which monitors the emission reduction pledges of different countries, is a database created by the organization to know how much each country has uh, contributed towards their pledge for the reduction of the emissions, right? So it is a climate action tracker is a database for the emission reductions. The first question is, which of the following is ozone depleting substance? So first of all, understand what is ozone depleting substances, or what is this entire phenomena. So if you see between earth and our sun, so this is earth and then this is sun, so there is a protecting layer of a ozone, right? And this protecting layer of ozone, so ozone is generated by O3, and this protecting layer of ozone prevents the ultraviolet UV, so this is UV lights from coming directly on the earth. So what happens if this UV light directly comes on earth? So this causes, if it falls on us, it causes cancer. So ozone layer protects the direct uh, interaction of the of the UV lights with the earth, right? So you have to understand this phenomenon first, and then this layer is getting depleted or getting harmed or getting disturbed by the substances that are called ozone depleting substance, and those substances are chlorofluorocarbons, halon, carbon tetrachloride, carbon. So all these hydro, bromo, and chlorofluorocarbons. So you remember CFCs, CFCs. So wherever you see something like this chloride, so you have to see that that is a ozone depleting substance, and these ozone depleting substances are protected or are regulated from a protocol that is called Montreal Protocol. What is that protocol? Montreal Protocol. So there might be a question, what is the protocol for the protection of the ozone layer? So that is it is governed by the Montreal Protocol. So you have to remember all these names. If not, just remember wherever you see carbons or chloro, fluoro, or bromo, right? So you have to remember chloro, bromo, or fluoro. Whenever you see some option, you have to see that is something is harming the ozone layer. Now I hope you have understood this complete phenomena of ozone depleting substances. Just we'll quickly go through the other options. Sulfur dioxide is responsible for acid rain. Remember, it will give acid acid rains, right? And then carbon dioxide is responsible for greenhouse effect, greenhouse gases. So this is greenhouse gas. Methane is also greenhouse gas. So what happens in greenhouse gases? The temperature of the earth is going up, so that phenomena is called greenhouse effect. I hope I have completely explained this phenomena, and if you have any doubt, you just comment in the comment section. The abbreviation NMSHE in the context of climate action plan of government of India stands for. So they have given us an abbreviation NMSHE, and they have asked what it stands for. So before we go to the actual answer, so the government of India in the year 2008 has launched National Action Plan for climate change. So remember, this is very important. Remember, you have to go through National Action Plan for climate change, and under this plan, government of India launched 8 missions. How many missions? So there were 8 missions under this plan, right? Under NAPCC, National Action Plan for Climate Change. So what were they? So National Solar Mission, most of the time there will be a question on this solar mission, then National Mission for Energy Efficiency, then National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, and National Mission Water Mission. Then our answer is here. You can see National Mission for Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. That was also one of the mission. Green India Mission, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. So these were the 8 submissions under the National Action Plan for Climate Change, and the full form, as you can see here, is National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. So name suggests that it is for helping and sustaining the Himalaya and its surrounding, right? So what were the sub goals of this system is to get the ideas of Himalayan glaciers and its associated hydrological concerns, then biological conservation and protection, wildlife conservation in Himalayas, then traditional knowledge societies and livelihood, and planning the sustaining Himalayan ecosystem. So these are the 5 important goals of this national mission on sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. So I hope in this small abbreviation question you have understood this national action plan on climate change for climate change. So it has 8 missions. So these are the 8 missions. You can pause the video and read. And then of that national mission of sustaining Himalayan system has these 5 important goals. I hope now you have cleared this question. Moving on to the next question. Global environmental issue of ozone depletion is due to emission of. So this is the question framed in a different way. So we have already seen in the earlier question that CFCs, right? Remember this CFCs are responsible for depletion of the ozone layer, and that is chlorinated hydrocarbons, right? Chlorofluorocarbons or chlorinated, fluorinated or brominated hydrocarbons. We have already seen it. So the correct answer is B only, right? Which of the following types of power plants provide the electricity consistently running 24 hours per day and 7 days a week? Means what is the constant source of electricity generation among the following options? So as you know, when sun sets, the solar energy it does not generate the electricity in the night time, and wind velocity is not constant all the time. Sometimes it stops, sometimes it will be very good wind velocity. So this also is not constant source of electricity generation. Then hydropower plants also, sometimes there will be a drought, sometimes there will be a flood. So this is not a constant, and will have to it will have disruptions. But geothermal energy, so what is geothermal energy? It is the energy derived from earth's subsurface. So remember, this is earth, and so whatever the heat in the earth crust, so from this heat the energy is derived, and it is used for heating, cooling or generating electricity. That we called geothermal energy generation or geothermal electricity generation. And this is a constant source, right? So it doesn't depends on the any atmospheric pressure, sorry, any outside source, right? So this is the source you have to remember. This is the continuous source, 24 hours per day and 7 days a week, and our correct answer is geothermal energy. So they have given us two statements. The statement one is wind farms are generally set up on the exposed hilltops and coast in remote areas. And second is, so this is correct statement, because for setting a wind farm it is generally required to have large area, because they have to set so many wind turbines and it will take a large area. So that's why it is set up in the area which is not habitated by humans. So it is uh, set on the exposed hilltop and the coast, and the wind velocities are steady in the remote locations. So this is one thing. So wind velocities are not steady at the remote location. So you have to remember, wind velocities are steady at the high altitude wind. So you have to remember. So this is wrong and this is correct. So wind farms are this is wrong and this is correct. So wind farms are set at the exposed hilltops and coast for the area and the wind velocity. So wind velocity is generally constant at these places, but uh, the steady velocity, the most steady velocities are for high altitude winds, right? So the correct option will be statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. So option C will be. So they have given us assertion and the reason, so we have to find out whether they are correct or not. The production of electricity from renewable energy sources is without adverse environmental impact. So production of in the production of renewable energy, electricity from the renewable energy, they used directly sources from nature, like sunlight, like water or like wind, right? But for making this solar panel, right? So we have solar panel, so for that we need silicon cell. Remember, we need silicon cell, and for making this silicon cell we need a very high purity water, and this high purity water in a large amount of high purity water is required for making silicon cell, and which in turn is used for the solar energy. So there is an environmental impact. So this statement is wrong, and there is no net emission of carbon dioxide into atmosphere from the exploitation of renewable energy sources. So this is correct. So you see, whenever we make electricity from water, from solar, and then from wind energy, so there is no emission of carbon dioxide. So this statement is correct. So A is false but R is true. So the correct answer is A is false and R is true. So you remember the round here. So this option D is correct here, right? The question is, which of the following pollutants have the adverse implication for the human health as well as the climate change? So they have given us five uh, chemicals or pollutants and asked which of them have adverse implication on the human health and the particulate matter. So students, you might be hearing in the December month, in the winter month, in Delhi, people talk about the particulate matter level going high. So what happens if the particulate matter 2.5 level goes high? The It causes the several cerebrovascular and the cardiovascular disease, and it will lead to morbidity and mortality from the cardiovascular and the respiratory disease. So it is very important uh, pollutant which causes the adverse impact on the human health. And then prolonged or high exposure of the ozone will lead to the it will trigger the asthma attack, reduce the lung function, and it lead to the lung diseases. So remember, these two pollutants like particulate matter and the ozone are very important pollutants that causes the adverse impact on the human health. Nitrogen dioxide is oxide of nitrogen, then methane is greenhouse gas, then nitrous oxide is oxidizing, strong oxidizing agent. So these others are harmful too, but to very less extent. So our correct answer will be ozone and particulate matter 2.5. So you have to remember, they are particulate matter causes the cardiovascular and respiratory disease, and the ozone triggers the asthma attack and lead to the lung diseases, right? How many missions are there under the climate action plans of government of India? So friends, whenever climate action plan of government of India comes, so you have to remember national action plan for climate change, right? So this is NAPCC has total 8 submissions. So you have to remember, there are total 8 missions. And what are they? National solar mission, national mission for enhanced energy efficiency, national mission on sustainable habitat, national water mission, national mission for sustaining Himalayan ecosystem, then great green India mission, national mission for sustainable agriculture, and then national mission on strategic knowledge for climate change. So you have to remember all those missions and their long form, because sometimes they will give you acronym and will ask you the uh, full form, right? So remember, under the government's action plan for climate control, there are 8 submissions. According to Indian Meteorological Department IMD, average sustained speed over 3 minutes of a cyclonic storm is in the range. So Indian Meteorological Department, that we call IMD, is situated into New Delhi, and it gives a certain particular range of wind speed over 3 minutes. So from based on that, we can decide whether what type of cyclonic storm is this, and this is the chart that you can remember. So you don't have to remember everything. The highest wind speed is for super cyclone, you have to remember that, that is 221, and for the lowest wind speed, it is called depression, and its wind speed is 31 to 50. And for the cyclonic storm, you can see here cyclonic storm, the wind speed is 63 to 88. So I think if you can remember these two, and then you can just guess remaining uh, super cyclone, whether it is extremely severe, very severe, or the severe cyclonic storm. So based on the this value, like remember 221, 63, 88, 88 and the 31. So 31 for the lowest, then 221 is for the highest, and in the middle you can remember 63 for cyclonic storm. Anything in between you can just guess, right? So I hope you got it correct. So our answer is 63 to 88 for the cyclonic storm, right? Now, which of the following natural hazard, is characterized by progressive occurrence and multi casualty. So they have asked which occurs progressively, and it causes the multi casualty. So we have just seen the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is pandemic? Pandemic is when it occurs in the different countries, right, at a time, like in China, like in India. So it had covered all the world, so we called it pandemic. But when it happens in a particular region, it is called epidemic. So this so this happens with the virus, or any pathogens, and then so many people get affected in particular area, and then there will be so much of a casualty. It is called epidemic. So the correct answer is epidemic, and if it happens in the several other continents or countries, so we called it pandemic. So wheezing is the most relevant health effect in case of which of the following pollutants? So we have seen the ozone leads to the asthma attack, right? Asthma attack. Then carbon monoxide exposure leads to the instant death, because it will choke you off the oxygen, right? And then you have nitrogen dioxide, so it will irritate your your respiratory system, right? So it will irritate the, and sulfur dioxide will cause the wheezing. So what happens in wheezing? You will have the breathing difficulty, and you will make noise while breathing, right? So you have to remember the sulfur dioxide causes the wheezing. For drinking and irrigation purpose, availability of suitable water on the earth's total water supplies is less than. So friends, as we know that 70% of earth is made up of water, and of this water only 2.5% water is fresh water, and of this 2.5% only 1% is readily available for drinking and agricultural purpose, right? And so you have to remember, only 1% water of the earth's total water supply is available for the drinking and agricultural purpose. So this is very important information you have to remember. All right. The waste component of the waste categorized as a trash consists of. So they have given us 5 options, and they have asked what is of these 5 options is called is will can be categorized into the trash. First of all, understand what is trash. So municipal solid waste is called trash, and is generally a term used for a non-hazardous solid waste from the city, town, village that requires routine daily collection and transport to disposal site, right? So this is called trash. And what is not trash? So industrial processes, so this is not a trash. Then demolition debris, sewage sludge, and mining waste and agriculture waste does not come under the trash. So this and animal waste will be taken out, and the paper, board, cardboard and cartons and wood will be trash. So remember this trash, or definition of trash is which require a daily routine collection and transport and recycling. So it is called trash. So our correct answer will be A and E, right? So the correct answer is A and E. Under the Sustainable Development Goal 12, so they have asked question on the SDG 12, the sustainable consumption and production, one of the target to reduce the per capita food waste at the retail and consumer level. So what is the target of reducing the per capita food waste at retail as well as consumer level? So these students, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal, were enacted in 2015, and their target to complete them is by 2030, and to reduce the food waste by 2030. So they are, the target is to reduce them into the half of the per capita global food waste, right? So the correct answer is we have to reduce them by a half. Food waste should be reduced by the half. So they have asked the potential of small hydropower plant in India. Overall potential means including all the small hydropower plant in India, how much electricity, or what is the capacity of overall India's capacity of production. So first of all, understand what is small hydropower plant. So the plants which can produce electricity, or which has capacity below 25 megawatt or below that, so they are called small hydropower plant, and including all the small power plant, how much India can produce? So it is 20 gigawatt. So you have to remember 20 GW is the answer. So approximate potential of small hydropower plant is 20 gigawatt, and these small hydropower plant are further divided into micro when the capacity is 100 kilowatt or below, mini when capacity is between 101 and 2 megawatt, and small hydropower plant from 2 to 25 megawatt. So this is the explanation for the small hydropower plant. In agricultural region, groundwater can have significant concentration of which pollutant? So remember, the in the agriculture, whenever a farmer uses the fertilizers or pesticides, when it is sprayed on the crop or on the farm, so it percolates and go into the uh, inside the water and then mix with the groundwater, right? So this groundwater gets contaminated, and mostly uh, the farmers use the nitrate, right? Urea or potassium nitrate. So these are the fertilizers that are excessively used, and they are accumulated in the groundwater. So you have to remember the highest percentage of the concentration in the groundwater is of nitrate. Which of the following greenhouse gases were target gases for emission was to be covered under the first commitment period of Kyoto Protocol? So remember, this Kyoto Protocol was established in the year 1998, and it came into the effect in the year 2005, and the city where this conference or the treaty was signed was Kyoto, Japan, and it talked about the reducing the emission of the greenhouse gases, right? Greenhouse gases. So what are the greenhouse gases? So the gases which are responsible for the increasing the temperature of the earth. So you have to remember this, and these gases were carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, HFCs, sulfur hexafluoride, and the perfluorocarbons. So what are we have here? Carbon dioxide, we have nitrous oxide, and we have methane. So our correct option will be B, C, and E. So our correct option will be D, right? So remember, so this Kyoto Protocol is an extension of UNFCCC, right? 1992. So 1992. So this is extended, and the goals were extended in 1998, and it is ratified, or it came into the effect in the year 2005. So these are the important point. You have to remember these greenhouse gases. All right. Now moving to the next. In India, according to Niti Aayog's Sustainable Development Goal Index 2019 and 2020, which is the best performing state on SDG 9, Sustainable Development Goal 9, that is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So, students, on this parameter, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, Kerala is the best performing state with the score that is 75, right? Remember, and this index, there is also next version, that is 20, 22, 21, and 20. So here the Kerala has score 66, and it is still top state. So remember, the best performing state in the SDG index is Kerala, and the worst performing state is Bihar, right? So you have to remember these two, and the top performing union territory is Chandigarh, and this index was started in by Niti Aayog in the year 2018. So these are the brief points. I hope you have understood it. Identify the correct sequence of the wind energy potential at 100-meter above the ground level in a decreasing order. So they have asked which state has the highest potential of the wind energy above the 100-meter level. So students, the institute which measures this potential is National Institute of Wind Energy, that is NIWU. So you have to remember National Institute of Wind Energy, and it has estimated that India's wind power potential above 100 meter is 3,02,251 megawatt. So remember, and the top state in this potential is Gujarat, then second state is Karnataka, then third state is Andhra, then fourth state is Tamil Nadu, and fifth is Andaman and Nicobar state, right? So you have to, so our correct answer will be C. So remember the topmost state with the highest wind energy potential is Gujarat. So you have to remember Gujarat, that will be all right. And then this National Institute of Wind Energy you have to remember, right? According to Niti Aayog's SDG index, which among the following state is the best performance in the goal SDG 5, that is gender equity? So students, as we have seen, the Kerala tops the overall index, but in the gender equity, Himachal Pradesh has the score of 52 and Kerala has the score of 51. So you have to remember Himachal Pradesh tops the SDG 5, that is gender equity goal index, and the correct answer will be Himachal. A protection of ultraviolet radiation as envisaged under the Montreal Protocol also contribute to the following SDGs. So students, sustainable development goal. So we know there are 17 sustainable development goals, and this sustainable development goal came into the force in the year 2015. So of these 17 sustainable development goal, some goals also uh, serve the purpose of the Montreal Protocol. So what is Montreal Protocol? It is about regulating the ozone depleting substances, and it was ratified in the year 1989, right? So of these 17 sustainable development goal, SDG 3, 11, 14 and 15 also serve the purpose of regulating the ozone depleting substances. So what are these goals? You can see here. Goal number 3, ensure the healthy lives and promote the full being of all stages. Goal 11, make cities human settlement and inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Then goal 14 and 15. So you have to remember goal 3, 11, 14 and 15. SDG goal 3, 11, 14 and 15 also serve the purpose of the Montreal Protocol. I hope you have understood it. Among the all recorded species in the world, India accounts for. So, students, first of all, who record all these species? So, these species are recorded by IUCN. Remember, it is very important. International Union for Conservation of Nature, and it is headquartered in Switzerland. Remember, so it is Switzerland, right? So, it is from Switzerland, and they account for the all the species available on the earth, and they have the genuine data, and according to them India has 45,000 plant species and 91,000 of animal species, and this is roughly, so all this estimate to the 7.8% of the entire population of the world. So remember IUCN, it is in the Switzerland, and the 45,000 of the plant species, 91,000 is animal species, and this total account for the 7.7 to 8% of the world's population. In respect to biochemical oxygen demand, the permissible Indian standard for the discharge of the treated effluent in inland waters, in inland surface waters is. So students, what is biochemical oxygen demand? So it is amount of oxygen that uh, microorganism consume in the water so as to decompose all the organic matter, right? And for drinking water in India, the standard is 5 mg per liter, and for the effluents, that is industrial discharge effluent, it is 30 mg per ml. So remember, for drinking water it is 5 mg per ml, and for uh, discharge treated water, that is sewage treated water, it is 30 mg per ml. Which type of power plant uses the least land per unit for a gigawatt of energy production? So students, the nuclear energy requires the least amount of area, and from the option geothermal energy require just 7.5 square kilometer for 1 gigawatt of production. Then comes coal, then comes solar, and then fourth is wind. So you have to remember geothermal requires the least amount of the area for setting up the power plant. So you have to remember this clearly, then you will be able to answer other questions. What are the essential components for the formation of photochemical smog? So remember, friends, what is photochemical means? Whenever there is a sunlight, so first thing is sunlight is essential, and when sunlight uh, is when sunlight bombards or sunlight interact with water vapor, organic compounds and oxides of nitrogen together, they form a photochemical smog. So oxides of sulfur is not a component of photochemical smog. So correct answer is 2, 3, 4, 5, that is D. So just remember sunlight with water vapor, organic component and oxides of nitrogen. Convention on ozone depleting substances is known as. So friends, it is in 1987 Montreal Protocol was formed for ozone depleting substances, that is ODS. Remember ODS, and then what should come in your mind is Montreal Protocol. Ozone depleting substances, ODS, then it's Montreal Protocol. It was finalized in 1987. Now moving on to the next question. What is the correct sequence of occurrence of various atmospheric layers from the Earth's surface? So remember, students, you have to remember these 5 layers of Earth atmosphere and their kilometers, right? Their distance from the Earth. So what are these 5 layers? That is, first is troposphere, right? And it is 0 to 10 kilometer. Then you have stratosphere, right? Second is stratosphere, which is 10 to 30 kilometer. Then third is mesosphere, right? This is third, and it is 30 to 50 kilometers. And then fourth is thermosphere, right? So this is fourth, and it is around 50 to 400 kilometers. And the fifth is exosphere, which is above 400. So our correct answer will be B, that is 4, 2, 3, 1. So you have to remember this carefully, this image, and there might be different question based on the kilometers and all other things, right? So correct answer is B. Before I sign off, students, we have a complete course for UGC NET Paper 1, and we have separate batches in complete Hindi and English. Daily there will be 4 batches, a morning 10 a.m., 5 p.m., then 6 p.m., then 9 p.m. So we have 4 batches for your paper 1, where we teach you complete syllabus live, then we give you MCQ PDF, then we give you full syllabus notes. There will be 50 plus mock tests, 5,000 plus question back. So you will get everything in this course, and the fee is just 2400 for 1 year. So it is very affordable, and we guarantee you your score will be around or above 70 plus in your paper 1. So don't just grab the opportunity. For that, you need to download our app Global Online, and from the store section you have to click on the store section and type UGC here, and you will see your course. So this is the course we have. Make the maximum use of it.